Goodnow, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Monday, February 9th. Better late than never today as we troubleshoot some audio issues. Shout out to everybody who is watching the bootleg backstage stream on TikTok. And wherever you are, whenever you listen, thank you so much for being here with us today. Did you know that the show lives 24/7? Yes, all the time, truly, at community.rumshq.com. It is the number one place if you want to learn crypto, to get in touch, to do it with us, our friends. We got people just like you all over the world, every age, shape, size, and level of experience. The only thing missing, my friends, is you. Community.rumshq.com. We'll have another little announcement about that later. Stay tuned. But first, got to know, Alex, Will, how are you today?
Well, I'm a little sad because my lobster church key is officially gone forever now after Alex lost my lobster church key, which for those of you who don't know, I thought more people called it that, is just a bottle opener. And it's gone. I just
Will.
It's just, you know what? I'm flippant right now. Okay, I'm just all over the place. Okay, with the emotions of my lost lobster church key. I was holding on to hope for like a whole year that it might show up again, and I just had to spend a whole $4.99 to buy another one off of Amazon, and I am most upset.
This is a gross misrepresentation.
I will Venmo you that plus interest. That's my day.
Listen,
maybe he's holding it ransom, hostage.
Yeah,
no,
right?
listen, I think that would be a good idea, but I would tell him that I had it, and I would attach requirements, prerequisites, demands for money.
Particular sets of skills.
Well, it's funny because he lost it here. This was in December of 2024, by the way, for those keeping score.
Times of yore.
Yeah, and I found it like I don't know, a month later, something like that, and I was all excited about it. And then I brought it all the way to Denver to give to him, and then I forgot to give it to him, and I accidentally brought it all the way back to Georgia, and then I subsequently lost it. So, it's around here somewhere.
Yeah, well, one day when it pops up, you cherish it. You open up a cold one for me.
You're saying that as if I'm going to be doing that posthumously because you passed away.
Exactly. I've passed away from trauma of a lobster church key. Anyway, but I'm good. Playing with leverage, having a good time, learning some lessons, building a strategy, having fun in the crypto space. Watched a terrible football game yesterday, and
hey, but you know what? Seattle won, so that's something we can all be happy about.
Everyone can be happy, except I live in Boston, so most everybody is sad. I did watch a fully grown man cry last night.
Well.
What was up with that? Like, not the man crying, but it was kind of a rough game.
It was just boring. I mean, like both defenses were amazing. It's just that Seattle's was amazing.
One was more amazing. Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
That
was the game.
We were commenting on how Christina was like halfway through, and she's like, "Well, I could be an announcer." Because it was just like at the end of like before every cutaway. It almost seemed like they were doing some sort of internal joke with each other about like what's the most obvious thing we could say about this, and it was just like it was one of my favorite games of like classic comments where like, well, Bob, I got to tell you, when we come back, they just got to score more points, or they just got to do a better job, or this team's just doing a better job. There was one comment that was like, well, this is it was like, you know, coming to the end, it was pretty obvious who was going to win. They're like, wow, this was a really good season for New England, and it was a little bit better season for Seattle. And it's, oh my God, insightful.
Yeah. Dude,
I love those.
Dude, the commercials are brutal, not because there weren't some good ones and there weren't some bad ones, of course, but it was just like, I felt like every third commercial was just some new AI LLM.
Oh my God.
I was like, and Gemini.
There was so much AI, dude.
GPT, and now it's fucking Claude, and now it's fucking this.
Well, and the best one, dude, the best one was AI.com, reserve your handle. And if you go there, all it does is let you pick a handle and then ask for your credit card, and then the website breaks.
Oh, cool.
So
really?
Everyone's like, what the hell is this?
I reserved my handle.
Of course you did. Did you give it a credit card too?
No, I used Apple Pay. And do you know why I did it? Because AI.com, you know who owns it?
some billionaire.
Crypto.com. Crypto.com.
Yeah, of course they do.
The guy who owns Crypto.com bought the AI.com domain for $70 million. Okay.
Great.
So I was like, they've got my information already. What could possibly go wrong?
Well,
And
you know,
I just
when
wanted
you
to
put
be
it
early.
like that. Yeah, when
See
you
if
put
it was
like that.
anything real.
Bearish.
And then there was the Coinbase ad, which the entire room of people I was in was singing along to it. And then when everyone just went Coinbase, and then everyone just turned to me and they're like, "Well," someone was like, "Did you know this was coming?" And I was like, "What?"
That is exactly the experience that I had.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we? I have the ad pulled up for people who didn't see it or for people who want to relive
Well,
it.
hold on.
Oh.
Hold on.
Take your time.
It's funny that today is the first day that we glossed over asking Alex how Alex is doing, because Alex actually has something to share from over the weekend.
I thought you were getting into that. Okay. Tell me.
Yeah,
How are you doing, Alex?
Thanks. I'm good.
welcome.
I'm a little sore because I ran a 10K this weekend.
He did. He really
I didn't
did.
prepare for it at all. I went on a 2-mile jog like a week and a half ago.
Responsibilities.
And I was like, oh, okay. There's that. Christina was very stressed about it. And I am sore. But it was all right. Although, annoyingly, I did it in 1 hour and 3 minutes. And at first, I thought, like, I'm just going to be happy to finish this thing under an hour 15. Because I Googled average times, and it was like between 60 and 70 minutes for an average person. And I was like, okay, I have to at least be average. And then I was like, well, damn, if I hadn't taken because I took like a breather at like 4.5 miles, and that probably cost me under my sub 1 hour time. But you know what? It's okay. I lived.
Well, dude, congratulations, man, because being
Thanks.
healthy, making good moves. 10Ks are fairly long. I've always found a 10K. It's like a 5K, you get through a 5K and you're like, oh, okay, that's it. That's over. Okay. Like, yeah, no, I was gassed for a second there, but I felt really good for all of it. And then a 10K though, it's just like you finish the 5K and your body's like, are you done? Oh no. And then I feel
Let's do it again.
I feel
Well,
like
all
difficult. Yeah.
All
Well,
I could
congrats.
hear in my head was Andy Glaze saying, do hard things. And then him telling me, like, in the midst of, when he's like one marathon into some 300-mile ultra marathon, and he looks at the camera and he's just like, one marathon down, 14 to go. And I'm just like, I can do this. If he can do that, I can do this. And so thanks, Andy. I don't know if
Congratulations.
you guys follow Andy, but he's awesome.
No, I just think the saber-toothed tiger's trying to get me, or if I don't catch the woolly mammoth in front of me, then the family in the village won't eat, and then we're all going to die once winter comes.
Yeah, that would be what you were thinking of.
That's what I think of every time.
Okay. Anyway.
Every time?
Every time I run. I go, I have to catch this woolly mammoth. I have to run it down. Otherwise, my entire village dies. My tribe. They starve.
There he is on the run, Mr. Alex Popovich, wearing all black, the racer in black. I'm sure everybody else is wearing like delightful island colors, and there's Alex looking like an international
at the
superstar.
starting line, there was a guy in like a 3-piece blue suit, and I was like, oh, he's gonna destroy me, and he did.
Dude, anybody who shows up to a race in a like formal wear, you already know they're so confident. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that would shatter me.
Oh no, I love looking for those because the last like race that I did was a half marathon, but I was in undergrad and I didn't prepare for that one properly either, and that one was awful. That one took me out. So never again. But true story, Evan, that one was up. It included a hill in Michigan because it was where was it? It was somewhere in the UP. I don't remember. Along Lake Superior, because a little piece of it was like near Pictured Rocks.
Okay.
And I had to run up a hill called Stink Hill, and it was right at the end, and it was awful, and it was so tall, and it almost killed me.
I wonder why they call it that. Stink Hill.
Probably a
Anyway,
bunch of people run up it, throw up, and become stinky.
Yeah, so that's how Alex's weekend was, and it set off a barrage in the group text of pictures in the chat. We got a picture or two from Will and Violet doing some skiing things. We got some walking the dog. We got Tori at work. So it was good. It was good, Alex. We were all proud of you, man. Way to go.
thanks.
Now this commercial. Let's talk about it. If you saw the Coinbase commercial, we need to know what you think, what you thought. And as I pull it up, who else had a crypto commercial yesterday? Wasn't there I'm I was not an attentive Super Bowl watcher, honestly. The Coinbase was the one that got my ire. So if there was another one, let me know. And if you had feelings about it, I would really like to hear what they were. It was very divisive.
I thought it was a good commercial.
Let's screen it together.
Yeah,
because we have the power, and then let's talk about it. So people in podcast land, you will hear this. People on TikTok, you may or may not hear this. We're so sorry. We love you.
We don't know.
But roll the tape. The karaoke screen. Yeah. Am I original? Yeah. This is my clue. So secure.
Yep.
Yeah, we all were singing that. We're like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, where's this going? Oh no. No, Coinbase. Coinbase logo on the screen, and it finishes with crypto is for everybody. They don't show it here, but use coinbase.com or something like that. So tell me why. What did you guys think about that there commercial from our
All I'm
friends
going
at
to say
Coinbase?
is it got the entire room I was in singing the song. Everyone was paying attention to that commercial as opposed to maybe just a couple people watching a commercial. I thought it was incredibly effective. We all had a good time. And then I really enjoyed everyone being like, wait, the secure? We all sang the different word. We're like, what? And then when Coinbase came up, I loved how the entire room turned to me. And they were like I felt like they were upset at me.
Yeah.
I felt like they were upset at me. They're like, well, you fucked up the song. And I was like, no, it wasn't me. I have nothing to do with this. But no, it was like my favorite commercial. I had the most fun with it. It got everybody watching. Everyone was having a good time with it. And the commercial ended and everyone was upset the song was changed. Everyone was like, no, I had a good time with that. We got the entire room singing.
Alex?
Okay, I have two opinions about it. Personally, I thought that it was fun. I thought like the break from it, the whole idea, like I understand what the point was, but it was incomplete for me. If I'm Coinbase and I had the idea to run that, I would want to do 2 commercials and have that be the first one, and then have the second one start with like some more serious, like, you know, everyone was singing together in the first one and this is why it matters. Because the feedback that I've seen from everybody that I have seen a take from on Twitter, there's only 2 opinions, obviously. Hate it, love it.
Yeah.
But every single person who shared an opinion about what someone who's not into crypto thought about it was that it was stupid, or they didn't get it, or it didn't do anything for anybody, or there was like, it went over the head, or it was like, what was the point of that? And I think that that's true. Like at a time when you have a more like captive total addressable market watching you do something, and you can't do a single thing to communicate the impact of like how serious the situation is, and how hey, there is actually like a thing that can answer some of these problems, and it's called DeFi, and here is a gateway to it, and here's why this matters, and here's what you can do with this. And I mean, nothing about like the amount of interest that you can earn on having your savings account here instead, or nothing. So like it felt like there should have been this fun thing that was like really catchy and grabby, and I agree with Will, like got everyone to like, wait, what's happening, and like do a thing together. And it just felt incomplete. It felt like they truncated it and like lopped the experience in half. I would have preferred to see something that then like did something with the attention. And that's why I overall think it was a miss. So I agree that it did one thing that commercials are supposed to do, which is get people talking about it. Here we are talking about it. Totally down with that. So mission 1 accomplished. But then mission 2, like we're not talking about anything to do with anything except whether or not we thought it was fun. And the only people who thought it was fun are people who are already here. And no one, like, I don't know, I didn't see a single testimony from anybody who said, like, yeah, someone was like, I'm going to check this out because of this. So how much does an ad slot cost? $8 to $10 million for a
Reportedly, I heard that this particular ad, it was almost a minute long, cost upwards of $50 million. I've seen several people say more than 50 as their figure.
And plus, they put it on the Sphere in Vegas too, which I do
That's
agree
what
with
I was
all the
gonna
takes I
tally
saw
too,
about
is
that. Was like, I'm so sick of that fucking Sphere.
Yep.
But,
right. So you spent money on the commercial, you spent money on the Sphere, and then presumably, though it looked like kind of a cheap commercial, you also might have done some extra spend to get this commercial made. So this is probably $100 million commercial.
So given that, the fact that you did all that, and I do genuinely think like you managed to accomplish goal one, which is get attention. There's so many commercials like easy to tap out of. I'm like, what's happening? Whatever. You know, this one didn't do that, but then it did nothing with the attention that it garnered. And I thought that made it really disappointing for me. Well,
especially with like it being a bear market. And so it's just like, oh yeah, Coinbase, the place where I can go to lose all my money. You know, like that's the connection right now. It would have been cool if someone had just been like, hey, use stablecoins to avoid credit card fees. Hey, use stablecoins to send money to your family and save this amount of money. Hey, you can have a savings account like this if you use DeFi. Hey, Coinbase, I'm here to learn more. What
I feel like they've got all these banger commercials like that they could have shown instead. Have you seen their other commercials?
Yes.
I can't. I don't know.
I don't see them because I honestly, I don't watch a lot of television, but I have seen them like on Coinbase's social profiles, and they have this really good one where it's like an older hardware store owner and presumably his grandson, and they're at the credit card terminal at the end of the day, and there's barely any dialogue, but the grandson is showing him how he can accept USDC and save money on credit card fees, what you always talk about as like what you would pitch if you were going to tell a business owner, like, hey, here's why you'd use crypto. And, you know, it's just a quick, short exchange of the two of them. The grandson sets it up for him. The granddad like uses it by tapping the phone, and they both like smile together as if to say, like, that was so easy. It's delightful. My business is doing better now. It was, I mean, they have a lot of commercials like that are really, really good and that are very Super Bowl friendly. You know what I mean? Like heartstrings, emotional, tell a good story. I feel like they could have done any of those commercials that they already had in their back pocket about the system is changing, we want to be part of it, and it would have been more, I don't know, valuable net than this. I thought we were going to disagree more on this, but Alex, that's almost exactly how I feel. It was a missed opportunity. Lots of eyeballs, but also lots of outrage. Pretty much everything that happened with Will's friends was like what I saw all across the internet. Nobody liked Coinbase. Well, everybody liked Backstreet Boys, but.
And my reaction, like in real time during it, was that like the thing finished and Coinbase came up, and you know it was just me and Christina and her parents are watching. Everyone looks at me and Christina's like, "Did you know?" And I was like, "No."
Did you?
And then we talked about like why we have never had
they called me
Coinbase on the show, and how they don't really like us very much, the ones that know we exist. And then and I said I was like, I really like that. I was like, that was really cool. And in my head, I was like, that was the setup. Like that was putting it on the tee, and we're going to get one more commercial and it's going to be killer, because I was expecting the one that you just talked about. That's what I wanted. I wanted something like that. Like you could even rapid fire several instances. And then everything on Twitter from the Coinbase people were like, God, our marketing department is so incredible. And I was like, no, they didn't. No, they aren't.
So cringy.
Yeah.
I saw that too. Like a lot of like hype on the timeline from Coinbase people, which I get. Like I'd hype all you guys up, but I would also, Alex or Will, Tori, anybody, if you came to me, I would be like, listen guys, that's not the way. Before
like,
I hype you up on the
nothing
timeline.
Sours the milk more than them being the ones that are like, guys, it was so cool, wasn't it? And it's like, oh my God, like you're making it worse with every tweet. But it was the
cringiest part. Yeah. Yes. Getting on and being like, our marketing team is so fucking sick, and oh yeah, it's awesome. And I was like, guys, take the Kool-Aid IVs out of your veins for 1 second and just be a person. And God, it is cringy. But
it's just like, hey, listen, and I can say this because the the CMO over there is someone who has told us that we just don't have time for you. So I'm only a little bitter. But if your marketing department understands like the full weight of like what you're supposed to do with a commercial that you spent that much money on that is going to have that many millions of people watching, and you don't do a single thing to address any of your TAM with anything actionable, you wasted your money and all of our time. And it's even worse when the setup was that good. And so I'm like praising a marketing department who basically like, I don't know, did 80% of the work and then just didn't even attempt to drive it home. I'm like, this is a bigger fumble than just having a shitty commercial, like where the message missed or something. Cause it's like, someone could have gotten something from it, but here this, like there wasn't even a message.
Dude, well, here's one thing I'll give Coinbase credit for. At least they're out here trying to put out a message, even if it's not really necessarily the best one. They're always trying to put out a message. They're always doing it. In Kraken, you should come on, Kraken. Just nothing. It's always crickets from Kraken. And they treat people so much better.
Bruce, just put Bruce on the screen.
Just put Bruce on and be like, hey, I'm Bruce. I'm really nice. And
hi, I'm Bruce. I'm a human and I'm willing to help. And I didn't sell your social security number to a cartel in the Middle East. That was my favorite take from the whole thing. It was like someone who liked the commercial was like, wow, that commercial was so much fun. I almost forgot that they sold, or that a minimum wage disgruntled employee sold my social security number.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Okay,
Anyway, we'll have
thoroughly
Kraken
roasted
on the
them.
show. Yeah, we'll have Kraken on the show soon, and then maybe we can be like, hey guys, are you thinking about a Super Bowl ad? Yeah, for free. Please let us screen it. please let us. We will do it for free. Please just let us help.
Please.
The pre-screen screening. Could you imagine if Rise Up got that kind of respect from a brand to hear, hey guys, it's a month out. We just want your opinion and feedback before we send this commercial or product to our customers. I would be elated. Elated.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot the other thing they spent money on, and this is worth saying. Just before we pivot away, I was moving screens. Did you follow the link on that commercial to the merch?
No, I do not.
Okay. Things. So the last thing, well, it would be a wild heist if they stole from me, but I scanned it like.
Oh God, this merch is terrible.
They immediately launched a tweet. You saw it on TV. Now it's on a tee and a hat. Use code everybody Coinbase to snag it for free. First come, first serve. And you could get these for free except for shipping. And I just thought, so they spent the money on the commercial. They spent the money on the sphere, and then they're spending whatever it's going to cost. And I get it. It's an investment. People are going to eat it up. People are going to wear it. They're going to continue to talk about this moment. And all press is good press, but I don't know. How much could you do with $100 million to tell a better story about crypto? You know what I mean?
And then also, who looks at these products and goes, oh, Coinbase, a shirt that says everybody, yeah, and then yeah, except if you don't know it's the song, it's just yeah.
Yeah. It's a good conversation starter. I will give them that. I actually think the merch, it doesn't work without the commercial, but it's a really expensive 1-2 punch. You know what I mean?
You want to know how that conversation goes? Someone goes, what's the shirt? And then you explain it and they go, oh, you're fucking stupid. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, cool.
Be like, I remember that commercial. Coinbase did that commercial. Oh, I hate that.
Sick, bro. Fucking. Then they walk away and they make fun of you for the rest of their lives.
Until they start using Coinbase because they have to, because Coinbase is a crypto bank and they have the best deal on Bitcoin. And then everybody just uses Coinbase. And then they say, oh, man, you remember when they did that commercial? Yeah, I really hated that. Anyway,
I have to say,
really stupid.
I fully expected more than one. Like, I know that it's a bear market and, spend goes down. But, like, some of these companies are gajillionaires. And I thought for sure that, like, Circle was going to have a commercial. And it's real weird that they didn't. Especially because last time there were several, and and we could talk about goods and bads with like the Matt Damon crypto.com appearance and like all that kind of stuff. Like you can talk about that, but like you said, Evan, this one is like every other commercial was either for an AI product or it was someone who used AI to make a bunch of old geriatric celebrities look younger, and that left a weird taste in my mouth. And And then, yeah, like I said, there was one that was really funny, AI one. I want to say it was an OpenAI. No, it was the fitness one where he's like doing pull-ups.
Oh yeah,
and he, like,
the commercials.
asks how do I do a pull-up faster? And it was like his coach who gave him like a very, wow, that's a really insightful question that really shows that you're tapped into being. That was funny.
That was funny. They leaked that commercial, and apparently for a while, Anthropic was like roasting them when the commercial got leaked because they were like, we're not going to do ads on our LLM. And that was like a whole week of free marketing for them.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine GPT with ads, dude? That was such a good
it's gonna happen.
They've already said it will.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just remember,
Claude had some good moments, and they, headlined it. Obviously, I really want to know. That's what I was trying to find out online, how much the spend is for those things, and I couldn't find it. Like, how much did Claude pay for that placement? Because there's like, the cost for a slot, and then it just made me think. And then I was like, okay, well, how much is Visa paying to be on the whatchamacallit, the like mid-tier screen that like wraps around the whole stadium, like between all the levels, that's playing like the marquee of their name. And then I know there's like different ways, because like Toyota obviously has like, the official like automobile partnership with the NFL. So like, I don't know what the parameters of that kind of a deal are, but I couldn't really learn anything about like any specifics, but I was super curious given how much like a 30-second or a 60-second ad slot cost to then like step it up and go like the way Claude did. Cause that had to be just so much.
I liked the Budweiser ad. The one that Budweiser's hit or miss, but they are
that was a
consistent with the eagle and the horse.
Dude, they kill it.
I was
I'm sorry, they kill it every year.
Commercial every year.
Yeah.
Free commercial.
Yeah, it was good. Kimberly and I were sitting there, and I was like, I saw from the first second, I was like, oh, it's a bird and a horse. I was like, this has got to be a Budweiser commercial. I was like, baby.
Oh, the second you saw a Clydesdale, you knew it was a Budweiser commercial.
Yeah. And then the eagle. Oh man, when he started flying, I was like, hell yeah. I was like, in that moment, I was like, America as a country is going through it right now. The United States has been through a lot, but we're fucking back. For this moment, we're back. That's how I felt. Okay, all right. Save me from myself. If you got more thoughts about the Super Bowl, about the commercials, let us know. I would like to pivot. Will, you mentioned backstage that you've continued your adventure in the world of perpetual trading, derivatives trading. I think there are a lot of lessons to learn there, and I would love to just kick it to you. If you need a screen share, let me know. I'm glad to assist.
I don't need
recap it for us.
Yeah,
tell us what's going on in the crypto casino.
Yeah, so I started a 5K trading challenge, and I was like, hey, let's see where we get to by the end of February. Within 5 days, my 5K was 18.3K, but then I got liquidated. But that's not, we already talked about that. So then I was like, hey, well, let's keep practicing here. There's definitely a strategy here. Obviously I was winning, so we just have to win, manage risk a little bit more, do that, and kind of get a strategy moving forward here. And so let's figure that out. And so in that same wallet, I just had like $150 that were just like sitting there in USDC or I think it was Solana or something. Anyway, it was just there. So I was like, oh, okay, shit, let's just practice with this. It's here. Don't have to move any money around. And so then I took that 150 to just under $600 in about 3 days of trading. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And so then I was taking a look at Hyperliquid, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm shorting this for sure. So I shorted it, and I was winning. But price started to rebound, but it wasn't near my liquidation point. Now, something I'd always known about with leverage is that you have to add more money to your position it's called protect your margin. And so let's just say your liquidation, let's say you bought Hyperliquid at $30 and you have 10x leverage, and your liquidation point then would be $33, right? That's a 10% move. So you'd be liquidated then if it went in the opposite direction. So as you get close to that $33, your margin starts getting reduced. So like, let's just say you're, getting really close to that 33. Let's say you get to $32. Then the protocol you're using will start to do something to mitigate the risk that they're exposed to because you're using their borrowed money. And it'll start to close out your position as you get close to it. And you're not fully liquidated until $33 is met in this instance. Now, you can prevent your position slowly getting closed out by adding more liquidity to the position, by taking more money and adding to it, right, to cover fees and things of that nature. And you have to manage that position. And so I forget exactly what price I got in at, but it started to go up. And I was just like in my head, I was like, oh, like this is going down, like whatever. I won't pay attention to it. I don't need to manage it. It's going back down. And it did. And then I woke up this morning. I was like, oh yeah, my position will be like up by X amount. Hell yeah. So I went to go check it. My position had been cut in half. And I was like, huh. I was like, oh, it started eating away at my position sooner than I thought it was going to. And so I didn't properly look to see when it was going to start to margin call me. And so I lost like half that position there just because like I wasn't managing it. I wasn't paying attention. It happened sooner than I thought. And I didn't go through the process of like properly managing it, which would be taking, money and adding to it, because I was still super confident that hype was going to go lower, which it did. And it has. So my position is open and still up, but it is, going to be down by the end of this trade because I wasn't properly managing this margin position. Right. So one of the things you'll see as you're playing with leverage is you might see something that says like, hey, the health of your account. And it starts at 100%. That's if you're doing well, but it'll go to 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40. If price starts going the opposite direction of your bet. And it isn't typically until you're below 40% health or 30% health where the protocol will start closing out some of your position. Okay. So this is something I'd always known about leverage trading, but because I didn't have a lot of experience, I just wasn't really, I was being very laissez-faire with it. Cause knowing that you need to do something and then experiencing it and having like the lesson itself internalized with just a tiny bit of pain, is different. So that was like my first experience with that. And I was like, oh, okay, I just really have to be more careful with this and kind of manage this a bit more. But then it also made me think about DeFi Carrot. It's like with Turbo Soul, you don't have to worry about that. And that's just nice. I was like, I was annoyed with perpetual trading, even though I've been finding some strategies that have really been working out well. Just a couple of mistakes have been preventing me from really making money out of it. But I've just been doing this for 2 weeks now. But with DeFi Carrot, you can only long, but you buy Turbo Soul, their product. It's at 2.8x leverage, and you don't have to manage that margin part, right?
At all.
Yeah, at all. You don't have to manage that at all. And that's just so nice. It really was making it really clear to me how DeFi Carrot's turbo products, which is their exposure to longs and stuff, is just really nice for new people or people who want to be more casual with leverage trading, even though you don't get access to as many X's, right? You don't get access to as much money, so you can't make as much money as quickly. But the management part of it is just so much more chill and calm, and there are less traps, if you will, for you to lose your money. So I thought that was cool. So putting things into more context from a user experience.
Yeah, it's great because I've been managing a swing trade position using TurboSol since September. Or no, sorry, September was CRT. They didn't release it till a little bit after that. Whenever they started, I was on day one that they dropped it.
Just after Thanksgiving, I think.
Yeah, whatever. As soon as it opened, I started messing around with it. And I've always had at least a little bit because my personal rule is I never completely sell out of a position. So I always had a little bit of it. And I've taken plenty of profits along the way. But I've still had a position in that thing, which is now from where it started down significantly. Sol, was at north of 150 when I started. And now it's whatever it is, 80. And never even close to a liquidation, including through that entire thing. And there's no funding fees. There's no maintenance costs or whatever. It's really cool. And if at any point it turns around, then obviously, you can capitalize on those little swings up with a lot more than you would if you were just doing spot. I'm pretty impressed. I was expecting, I was watching it during that last one and I was pretty impressed to see that nothing happened. There were no outages. Actually, the one thing that did happen, that I talked to James about was there was a couple times when in extreme volatility, some transaction or purchase attempts failed because they were swapping back and forth between which dexes they're routing buys through. And there were some liquidity issues with one of the positions. So behind the scenes, the management switches to another one. And you as the end user don't have any negative experience except, maybe a transaction or two failed while it's swapping. But overall you didn't lose anything. And, granted, your position is down, but you're still getting exposure to a long, without all of the downside. It's very cool. And I will say I've had the same experience on Hilo. Hilo's because I have XSOL on Hilo, which is the same product. It works very similarly, but it's a little bit different. the mechanics behind the scenes, which is an interesting read if you want to nerd out. But same experience. I held that some XSOL all the way through that same, precipitous drop off a cliff, and same thing, no problems. Very cool.
Alex.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, like, hey, if you don't have time to really properly manage a leverage position, which is definitely more hands-on than it is to, I set a long and a short and it goes. It's like, no, it's more than that. It requires more time and more attentiveness than that. Definitely go to DeFi Carrot, because it's just way easier.
Couple of follow-up questions. The first one is, Alex, are we in fact getting JSB back on the show to talk all things Carrot and specifically Turbo Carrot? Have we set a date yet?
No, but I'm trying to get him back on and someone from Gauntlet together to do like a risk management, because Gauntlet also went through this last downturn without a single negative nothing happened to any of their products, and they texted us like as it was happening, very proud about how it was. And first of all, I was like, okay, this is cool. Like I'm glad that your first thought was to tell me that it worked. And then immediately I was just like, oh, we got to do like a risk management thing and get you and James on to talk about, and Carrot knows Gauntlet. So that'll be fun. No, I'm excited about that, because they crushed it too. DeFi is just getting better, guys. I mean, the products are just getting better and better and better. It's very exciting.
Yeah, Dara specifically said, if you're ever covering risk during the downturns, we're always game for a morning or late night session. Can you imagine what a flex it would be to show up as the market is crashing, like with a little bedhead and some coffee, and just be like, hey, guys. You know what I mean? Like, what a flex, Gauntlet. Well, the questions are, do you use a stop loss in your perpetuals trading?
Typically when I set a trade, I'm just watching it, and I have like a set, like I'll have a set line of resistance or support. And if I see a rejection or got above it, I'll then place my trade. If it breaks below it, I'll just close it out. So like I'm typically watching it very, very, very closely. But I felt with Hyperliquid, here was another lesson, is I felt super confident about it going down, and like I'm right, like it's down, like I am technically correct. But the lesson here was the adding liquidity to manage the position. So it's like I just felt super confident about it, and I didn't set a stop loss. So again, though, manage your risk, set a stop loss, and all that. So it's just learning the lessons here.
Okay, and the other question is, how long are you? It sounds like you're doing these as session trades, like you're watching them, you're not really stepping away from them. But can you confirm what's the time frame on these trades, and what is, at least right now, the amount of leverage that you're applying?
Well, in this case, I hadn't gone to my conservative strategy yet, because it was just with like $150, and I was like, I mean, this could go. I don't care. So I was like, hey, let's just see what we can turn this into and see what other lessons we learned. So, I mean, I was using 50x leverage on Ethereum. And that's how in 3 days, I brought it from $150 to $600. It was just like 3 trades where I was like, hey, I got like 50% here. I got like 200% here. And I got like a 30% move here. And I got up to like $600. And then on Hyperliquid, though, it was a 10x leverage position. I would say, if you're an experienced trader, 10x leverage is honestly a pretty good amount if you're like, really not exposing all the money you ever have made in your life to this kind of a position. To leverage, you really should just be using it as like a small means to like make some money on the side, I feel like, for the most part. But I feel like 5x and below is like really, really solid if you didn't want to do what I was doing here, which, a lot of these positions I had were open for 15 minutes, and like, because I was just waiting, I would just see Ethereum or Bitcoin about to break resistance, and a 1% move with 50x leverage is a 50% gain. So see that 1% move, see a 2% move, close the position, walk away, 0.5% move, close the position, walk away. That's what I was doing for the most part with this, because it's not like a serious amount of money for me at all in any way, shape, or form, and I was just having a good time.
Well said. Chelsea, Bullish Babe, in the comments was saying, in my opinion, you should never add to your margin. And I said to her, why don't you come up sometime, sometime soon as Will is navigating this particular challenge, and give some of your takes on it. I know we've talked about it off the air. I think that would be a great conversation to involve her in. So,
Oh yeah,
Chelsea,
I do
you're on
agree.
deck.
I do agree. You shouldn't add margin to your position unless you have like an ultra high sense of confidence. And I had an ultra high sense of confidence with Hyperliquid. I was like, no, this is rolling over. This is just short term noise. And like I'm correct, and I was correct. But I still got half my position eaten away at.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But otherwise, like the risk you run is like, no, it's gonna do what I want it to do, and you start throwing money into like the fire as it goes the opposite way. So it's like only if you don't have a ton of experience with like trading, and like you have no reason to be confident. If you don't have a lot of experience, you have no reason to be confident, and you should just let yourself get like liquidated in that sense, or set a stop loss.
Yeah, stop loss is good. Stop loss is good. Short term is good, and learning with a little bit. There's a lot of money that you can lose if you are inexperienced with that. Use less leverage than you think. Size, like Will is doing, so that if you get liquidated, it's irrelevant. A single daily wick can take you out. And that's a good indicator that, well, maybe you should go a little smaller next time.
Yeah.
Alex, I keep hearing you go. Yeah, pivot me. I keep hearing you. Go ahead. Yeah. Are you going to take me somewhere crazy?
No, but there's a good question. There's a question about revenue. Someone said they heard that Solana has more revenue than Ethereum. Are they missing something about Ethereum? And I thought this is an excellent opportunity to demonstrate two things. One, the difference in different types of revenue. And two, my favorite way that you can get all this information. So shout out to the llama, because that's where we're going to go. And I'm actually going to show you the llama AI because it's really cool. So DeFi Llama has an onboard llama AI thing that you can use to like ask it questions. You can't like, do other stuff. This is only to talk about information and data that DeFi Llama catalogs, but it'll present it to you in like custom ways depending on what it is you're trying to look at. So I basically just asked it, hey, compare revenue for Ethereum and Solana, annual revenue, and include the different types of revenue because there's different categories. So this is kind of neat. Evan, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here.
Okay.
So you are correct in saying that one category of revenue between the two has more on the Solana side than the Ethereum side, and that's this yellow block here. So that is app revenue, and it's just barely. But this is revenue made by protocols and applications built on top of Solana, not the chain itself. Chain revenue is humongously skewed towards Ethereum. So annually, the revenue breakdown for Solana here, you have 4.48 billion in app revenue on Sol compared to 4.31 billion on Ethereum. So very close, but more on Solana. Compared to chain revenue, 13 billion on Ethereum compared to 576 million on Sol. Nothing to sneeze at by any stretch, but not even close. But the app revenue is the other direction. So from that, you could draw several different conclusions. Why is that? People are more aggressive and active with things on Solana. Like more stuff gets built and shipped here. The biggest chunk of the meme coin casino lives on Sol. I would hazard a guess that Pump.Fun massively juices those app revenue numbers. Like my follow-up question to this would be, how much of Solana's app revenue is from Pump.Fun? And I would imagine that it's a tremendous amount.
I also think it is because last time we checked, they were the leading protocol by revenue, I do believe. And that has gone up. It has gone down. I want to see how fast they respond. I like their cute little llama animation who's tapping his little fingers together and also working on his laptop. Llama decoding secrets, llamas, liquidity pooling insights. That's really cute, guys. Good job, team. Coinbase, spend money on something like that.
Make me a llama.
For 0.01% of their budget on the Super Bowl, they could build a really cute little llama avatar that walks you through the website. Or sponsor DeFi Llama. So what do they say? Lots of different stuff here.
I think it misunderstood my question because it's just telling me how pumped out fund generates revenue. It is a dominant revenue driver for the Solana ecosystem. Okay, well, I was looking for annual.
Okay.
So we could sit here and argue with it. But yeah, that's almost what I was going for, Llama. Close. At any rate, good question. Revenue comes in different flavors. So make sure that you're looking at specific types of revenue because Ethereum is absolutely far and away dwarfing everybody else, and it's not even close. They have more chain revenue than every other blockchain combined, and it's not even close. Because Solana smoked everybody else too, and they are not even close.
Could you imagine one day Ethereum, which already has a very significant burn mechanic cooked in, one day Vitalik goes, "Fine, we'll do a revenue buyback," and everyone would be like, "Oh." It would be like, we'll do 1% of revenue. And wait, what was the number again from revenue?
13 billion.
What's 1% of 13 billion? Is that 130 million?
130 million.
Yeah, 130 million. Could you imagine that?
Dude, it'd be nuts. That 4 billion figure that they're hitting with app revenue, both of them.
Yeah.
I posted a great story in the community. I think I threw this in the general chat. I have been railing on NPR. That happens to be what I will listen to. It's like the only news station that's in my car. I have an old truck, so I got to listen to the radio. So I will listen to the headlines on NPR, and I have a lot of criticism for them, especially about their crypto coverage. They have never covered crypto well or to my satisfaction in a way that I feel is thorough or journalistically has any integrity. But I heard this incredible report they did on Planet Money, and it was a 30-minute program on how much money President Trump and his family have made like on the presidency. And they also investigated across like all parties how much other presidents have made when they made money off their position. And their conservative estimate, they had really impressive math. It was excellent coverage of crypto, was that from crypto alone, you want to guess?
I mean, I won't guess because I know the number.
Yeah. As much as Solana and Ethereum made from app revenue. $4 billion, dude, from crypto.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's worth noting that the most recent provision supplied by Senate Democrats to advance the market structure bill in its current form out of the Ag Committee was a provision to prevent politicians and public officials from like owning and trading crypto. I can pull up the exact wording of it, but it would effectively have prevented the president from doing that, and it got kiboshed. Go figure. So yet again, we are being held up because Congress refuses to prevent themselves and the administration from massively profiting off of the backs of all of this stuff that they're currently making the rules for. And that was the amendment that killed the last round of bipartisan discussions on it. So take that for what it's worth. I
see a question in the comments.
It's always good.
Well, until it's not. But you're right. I like the optimism. Question in the comments that we can be optimistic about was from Michi Rose, friend of the show, who is thinking about taking this time in the market while stuff is a little down to explore staking for the first time.
Yes.
Do we have any tips?
Nice job.
Yes. This is exactly the time. This is the time. Okay. The market is it's either boring or frustrating. It's one of the two. It's hard to read. Every day it's like bad news on top of bad news. What do you do now? You learn DeFi, and now is the time, especially when things are cheap, because this is my strategy. After when we come back around the corner and we turn back again, we're going to be in my fourth go around. Okay. Every single time it's the same thing, and I've been getting better every time. You do the thing, you do the swing trading when markets are good and they're going up, and you amass a position in an asset that you feel good about. I would recommend picking one that actually makes money and actually has an ecosystem where there are actually apps that you can actually do stuff on. In that case, there are two choices, Solana and Ethereum. Do that, okay? And then get to this point and do exactly that. Think about, okay, now that I have a position here, what can I do with it to increase how much I have without buying more of it? Because maybe you don't feel great about buying more right now. Things are tumultuous. We're not sure we're going to crater lower. I always see the question, like, should I just sell everything and buy it back when it's lower? And that question always like triggers me a little bit because yes, in a perfect world, yes, that's exactly what you would do. But it doesn't work that way. And I don't recommend taking an attempt at it working that way until you understand like the full risk picture of what you're getting into when you do that. But what it is a perfect time to do is stake, yield farm, lend, collateral, whatever. There's so many different things that you can do, especially with ETH and Sol. That's a perfect time to get into it. That's the perfect time to sit down and like figure out where can I do this? What can I do with it? Which is exactly why I felt so strongly about us working with Jito, because we're coming up to the time when it's even more important than it was during the bull run. Because in the interim, by staking, for example, you help secure the blockchain that you want to come back, that you have a vested interest in returning because you invested in it. So you would like it to continue. Staking helps the blockchain work harder, better, faster, stronger, and more securely. That's a win for everybody. And if you liquid stake, you get a token back and you can go do stuff with it. You can loop it somewhere else. You can increase your APY over here and do this. There's so much stuff you can do. That was a great question. And the answer is yes, a resounding yes.
I'm curious to know where they own that asset right now. Is it in a wallet, Michi, or is it on an exchange? And then,
yes, tell me
Will,
more.
Is there anything that you would add as far as tips go?
As far as tips go, if you want to do everything that Alex said, which involves actually helping the network too, you should take your crypto off of the exchange, because then it's like, oh, this stakes and it earns interest here. Yes. I'll do that. But like you're not making as much interest, and also you're not like really doing it.
And Will, that's maybe accidentally a fantastic point, because I've been listening to my mother lately go through the pain and suffering that she is going through right now, trying to get all caught up with crypto tax stuff. And she's had, here's another dig at Coinbase, because they did this to me too. They have all these like earn mechanisms, like, they'll stake for you and pay you out something.
Oh yeah.
They automatically opted all of us into it when they started it. And when my mom went to upload like the full amount of transactions to Awaken to start doing the thing, it was literally thousands of transactions of almost nothing. Like a daily deposit from Coinbase to you of 0.0000001 Sol. Like not even a fraction of a penny. And it's like, but now you have to pay way more to the tax softwares to like catch you up, because of how many of those completely pointless, piddly little transactions there are that you did not have a choice but to opt into. So if you did that and then just like held it there for 2 years, spoiler alert, you've got 1,000 transactions waiting for you of next to nothing. And because you can never fully get 100% out of it, because when you do a transfer, it's always going to keep like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction left over to like pay for the transaction to get it out or whatever. There's like always a little bit left. And even if you think you withdrew, you probably didn't. There's probably still 1/8 of a penny there that is earning that they're going to pay you on every day. So, just thousands of transactions that you like were not prepared to have to sort through and catalog and account for and then deal with and then pay for cataloging for if you don't do it all manually.
Yep.
So yeah, bearish on that.
But another thing too that I would say also is that you should probably stake in more than one place, because even though like some staking options have been around for a long time, like Jito, great, been around for a long time. Marinade, great, been around for a long time. If we're just talking staking Solana, then there's still a risk. Like, oh, what if there's a gap in the code? What if something fishy's going on, right? This is all fairly new. So I do think it is a good idea. Like, hey, use Coinbase or Kraken, stake some there. Then also take some and put it in a wallet and take it to Jito and stake some there. Or, if it's Ethereum, why am I having such a brain fart?
Lido, EtherFi.
Thank you. Lido, yep. EtherFi. Could take your Ethereum over there. But, it is good to keep some of it spread around, because like, what if your wallet gets corrupted? What if you lose your seed phrase? What if, so just, stake in a few different areas. That's all I'd say. But otherwise, staking in a bear market, it's the time to do it.
Yeah,
Sure
it
is.
really is. And if you need help with it, if you need step-by-steps, if you want to ask somebody more in depth, get a little help, really the place to go, I'm going to say it, community.rumshq.com. Can I pivot us to a little community goodness? And then I have at least one more thing I wanted everybody's thoughts on regarding the autonomous AI agents that now are, in fact, leaking private keys. Sound good?
Sure. Go for it. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. In that case, I want to tell you, I am so thrilled that we have the RUMS Community Scholarship Live. If you missed this, we have seeded a scholarship with $2,500. We've received a couple of different donations from folks in our community. Shout out to Jeff Rascal, to Bearded. I believe Solom has made a gift. If you want to make a gift, you can find the links in the community. You got to go to community.rumshq.com. We have got forum posts about the community scholarship, but I thought, why wait? Why don't we start using that right now while we're waiting for folks to put their applications in? If you've got something you want to fund, a class you want to take, you need to buy a piece of software, you want to travel to go to a conference, you're a crypto builder, you're a crypto learner, something that you can't get access to, that's what the community scholarship is for. You can make gifts as little as $1, as big as $10,000. And if you wanted to gift more, then we could figure out a particular tier for you. But as part of the community scholarship, I do want to tell you that we are going to give away some free premium memberships to the people in our community. The Rise Up Premium membership is a program designed to give you deeper access to us, to the resources we offer if you want to accelerate your learning journey, things we can't scale. The community is free to join, but we do offer things like coaching. If you wanted to sit down and ask Will one-on-one, how do I do this? You can do it. If you want to come to an office hours session with me every week where you get to know me better, where I show you personally how to stake your ETH, you can do that. The cost is $30 a month. You get 10 days free, and then it's just $30 a month. But we realize that that's not accessible for everyone. And more than that, it doesn't cost us anything except a couple of bucks to give it away. So we wanted to say thank you to a few folks in our community who've really shown up for us. And I would invite you to join me in applauding them. If you hear your name, we are going to send you in Circle a direct message with a coupon you can use to get a year of premium membership free as a way just to be appreciated, for us to say thank you. So those people this round, the first recipient of premium membership free for a year, I want you to give it up for Bearded, Carol, Radio Dan, Cody, aka Seavish, and our friend Jessica Pennington. Ladies and gentlemen, for being outstanding community members, helping everybody out whenever they can, we see you and we appreciate you, and we want to recognize you by giving you that access. You're already a great part of the community, and we want to make sure that you continue to be a great part of the community for as long as you'll be around, but at least another year totally on us. And I want you to join me in congratulating our friend Matthew Wiley. You know him and love him for his Katana research, for his helpful posts, but he has agreed to help us out as a research analyst and Twitter intern. We've invited him to take his next step working in the industry by helping us out. So he is definitely going to get hooked up with the, free access. We'll give him a little boost upgrade to admin, and you will start to see more of him soon. He'll be on the show. He'll be around, hopefully posting for us. We want to enable him to do research and network with people who work in crypto so that he can advance himself, but also he can help us out. We trust him to do it. So give it up for Matthew. Give it up for all the freemium people. And if you want to start a premium trial totally free, you can do it. 10 days free, and then it's just $30 a month. Scholarships are available. You can find out more in the community at community.rumshq.com. And the final thing I have is just live today. Thank you to our good friend Tori. We are doing a referral program. Even if you're just a free, sometimes I come by occasionally member, we want you to have a means to share with your friends, the community. The best way you can learn about crypto is to join a group of other crypto users who know a little more than you, who are working on the same issues as you, or who are learning and who you can give back to hone your skills. If you are a member at community.rumshq.com, now you can get your very own referral link. This will help us to see, for example, who the most active members of the community are. And more than that, you can get paid. Even if you are a free member, if you refer somebody to the Rise Up community and they become a premium member, congratulations, you get a share of that. You're going to earn 10% commission on every paid membership you prefer. And we've got other stuff too. If somebody buys a coaching and they came to the community through your link, we can track that. We can trace it. We can give it back to you. We just want to say thank you because really it's true. You are the very best part of what we do. So thank you, my friends. Check it all out at community.rumshq.com. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to leave them there. Thank you, Tori, for making that possible. And thank you to Bearded, Carol, Seavish, Radio Dan, Jessica for making the community such a great place. Matthew, cannot wait to talk to you about all the cool stuff we'll get to do together. So
something else I'd like to add on to that is like we're able to give free premium membership to people because like, you know, we don't make a ton of money off of our people, you know, which is good. We kind of like that. We make money from sponsorships. And so
yes,
because the sponsorships are here, we can give people free stuff, which is dope. So, you know, another way to take actual sponsorship money and do good things with it. Looking at you, crypto influencers.
That's right.
That's the way that it should be.
That's the way it should be. The company pays us, so you don't have to.
Shout out to Jito, the first renewing sponsor of the season. And we are excited to meet with the Arculus team later today. Hopefully we can continue to give away great cold storage. And we appreciate them. A lot of questions rolling in the comments, and I'm glad to tend to them before I tell you about the AI apocalypse, including Erica Kirk has been messaging me trying to get my Bitcoin, says Sean. Who wants to tell him? I'm sorry, man,
awful.
But she's just not that into you.
That's the worst sentence I've heard today.
Could you imagine if it was really her, though? Please stop Turning
honestly,
Point USA.
This is Turning Point's newest endeavor, I guess. Stealing
Bitcoin?
Stealing
Dude,
Bitcoin?
They are trying to become like a conglomerate megachurch super organization. I don't know. I am a little affrighted. A little affrighted about it. The questions
we should all be a little affrighted.
Affrighted.
No way. She once had a podcast called Rise Up. Amazing. Okay.
Can we sue? Can we sue?
Somehow I think she has really good lawyers.
Somehow I think she does.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We got Jonathan. We got Jonathan. We got a lawyer.
We do have Jonathan.
Right,
Shout out as your Jonathan, we love you.
Your first
a lot of
mission,
questions coming in.
Sue this billion-dollar media conglomerate.
Sue Erica Kirk. Come for them.
Okay,
but guys, you told me he was going to be some dumb crypto influencer thinking he could sue you because you said something about his shitty meme coin he made. It's like, we told you that, but actually it was always going to be Erica Kirk.
Okay. Pivoting to Bitcoin. A number of questions in the comments today have asked what we think is going to happen to Bitcoin and therefore the whole crypto market from here. We have folks in the comments saying, I suspect it could go lower. Will it go higher? What do you think? How do you feel? And of course, we've got Market Watch tonight, but I wonder, Will, can you give us a little technical analysis preview for the folks like Ryan K who bought it a little bit higher and want to know whether or not they should cut their losses? Let's speak some truth into this, into the chaos.
Yeah, well, it's going to go up or down or sideways, and it's one of those three. And sometimes it's maybe good, and sometimes it's maybe shit. And yeah, if you grab some chicken bones and you throw them, you got to read the bones and then look at the stars, and then depending on if you stub your pinky toe on the coffee table corner that day, you should long or you should short. It's one of those two, and then you're going to do fine.
And now something helpful. If you are asking that question, my first instinct is to tell you to do nothing, because here's the thing. Like I said earlier, the the most common question that I see at this kind of stage in the market, when there's, you know, lots of speculation about how low things are going to end up. If you're asking the question, should I just sell it all now and then buy it back lower? Again, like, yeah, in a perfect world, yes, we should all be doing that. We should all sell everything and then buy it all back again lower and then resell it all when it gets higher. Here's the thing that is actually going to happen. If you do that, all of a sudden, lows are going to start to become not low enough. And now you're sitting on the sidelines. You're going to start to question yourself a whole lot more, especially if you made the decision not based on anything that you've concluded yourself, but based on something that a talking head on the internet said. So someone's like, okay, yeah, sell it all now. We're definitely going down to 50K. What if we don't? We might, but what if we don't? And then how confident are you that at that point you're going to be like, that's it, I'm going in, and that you're not going to, you know, continue to sit there and second guess, or it does go lower and you buy back in and then it continues to go lower and you're like, oh crap, and you sell it again, and that's when it turns around. Like, it puts you in a precarious position wherein, instead of now acting based on a conviction that you have built by understanding what it is that you're doing, you're just kind of emotionally reacting to a market that you are trying desperately to follow, while listening to a bunch of people who are kind of bloviating in your general direction in the hopes that you will pay them to do it more. So I would say be very careful if that is the way that you are trying to interact with the market. Bitcoin's going to be okay. We don't know for how long it's going to sit here. We don't know if it's going to go lower. We don't know how long it's going to be until it turns around. All these things. These are all unknowns. So it's just be careful, because, you know, it's a precarious position to be in, to sell out of everything and then hope for some sort of ultimate bottom that you're going to recognize as being that, and then time it to get back in at the perfect time, to then turn around and make a bunch of money and, you know, all that stuff. It just in practice doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And let me give a real answer also, and I'll share my screen in just a second, just because as I gave my silly answer, I just saw Evan just go like, I just saw Evan just be like,
okay, man. I should have known better. That was a good example of not outsourcing my conviction. I did. It was a sin to borrow conviction from you.
As soon as I mentioned chicken bones, I just saw Evan be like, God, I shouldn't have passed the baton to him at all. But anyway, let me share my screen here.
No problem.
So I'm going to share Bitcoin on the weekly chart. So Bitcoin is here having a not so good time. And we have 3 pretty deep red candles in a row. But this wick right here is a fairly bullish wick, and it fell into what I've described as the golden pocket buy zone for Bitcoin, which is between this orange line and this purple line. It's the 200-week exponential moving average and the 200-week simple moving average. And the reason why I call it a golden pocket is, if we go and we take a look at previous bear markets, and again, just follow the orange and purple line, you know, you had a good buy opportunity here, it bought up, fell back in, dipped below, but like any buying in this range, in that golden pocket or below it, ends up being pretty good. And if we go back in the past again, you can see here, you fell into that golden pocket, it dipped just below, it was a pretty good buy. Also here, fell into that golden pocket, it was a pretty good buy. You had an opportunity again here, bam. And again, go back in the past. Like it always kind of works out, but you got to be prepared for it to kind of dip below. Here, golden pocket dipped just below, and then it was a pretty good buy, right? So this is somewhere near the end. It's somewhere near the end. Like, you know, historically, you could see Bitcoin come in here and dip below and hang out somewhere below. But otherwise, it ends up being a phenomenal time to have started dollar cost averaging and buying. So,
because the question there, Will, if I'm correct, would be the length of time that it would sit down kind of in that region, or
it varies widely.
Is up for debate. Okay.
Yeah, we've had a 1 week candle go in there. It was just a few days. We've spent months in this range.
Like how long is, you just drew a rectangle right there, how long was that whole, like, roughly?
Well, these are weekly candles, so you're talking
these are
weekly
like candles, so like, you know, and then even then we had opportunities, but I mean, like, you had 44 weeks, but so honestly
we're talking about almost a year.
Yeah, and this was in that 2022 time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
the 2022
bear.
bear market. It was the big bear.
The
That
big
was
But
the
then,
big bear.
then you had 2 weeks, really 3 weeks here. And then even, here you had a good long chunk of time also, which was,
That was the next big
19
bear,
weeks.
2019. I remember
That was
one was rough,
19
too.
weeks, So you have like a really long time, most likely, to be able to buy Bitcoin in this golden pocket range, if you will. And that's what we're looking at.
I have a kind of a revised rule for myself. So I'm thinking that in the future, last time I was navigating self-employment, the pandemic. I say last time to mean like 2019. I guess last time was really 2022. But I was still navigating self-employment then, and I didn't have a ton of liquidity to buy the dip with. I didn't have regular income that wasn't going to groceries and stuff. I was mostly allocated.
Same.
This time I swore that wasn't going to happen to me again. I swore that if we got great prices, because I knew it was going to happen, I would be ready. And I really was. But now I feel like I have made a lot of eager buys early, because I have really bought into this idea that our cycles are going to speed up. But I wish I had waited a little longer to deploy. I probably am like 70% deployed. I wish I was like 40 or 50% deployed. I think patience is good always. And as I wait to see what unfolds, I suspect that the next time prices dip, or the next time I have, as I get income, I will be even more conservative about buying Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol every single day. Shout out to all the friends in office hours, because we were talking about what's the best place to DCA those assets, and they were schooling me. It was great. I got a master class on all the pros and cons of Coinbase, all the pros and cons of BitUnix. It was marvelous. And now I have my DCA set up. I also am going to, I think, start doing what you do, Alex, and DCAing USDC.
Yes.
For the intention of yield farming it until
the
next better, because I set stuff aside, but mostly I'm buying Bitcoin. And that's not a bad strategy, but I do wish I had more USDC. I don't necessarily trust myself to be patient, but I would love to have a yield farm that I could come back to and say, no, now I've got like 50% in crypto and 50% to buy the dip with every 4 years or something,
Yeah.
What do you think?
That is truly the way, because you can basically outperform the stock market with just USDC.
Yep.
Like on a longer time frame. And that does not get nearly enough recognition. Will, you just highlighted this in a video the other day where you said, on average, only 1 to 9% of traders will outperform the stock market on an annual basis, which, incurs an average rate of return of like 8%. I think it's up now over the last 9%. Few years, because the stock market has been ripping for the past how many years. So there's that to consider, but that 100%. Like if you're unsure, still make your dollar cost average purchases. You do not have to buy a volatile asset. You can just continue to park stablecoins in something that's going to pay you at least 5%. And those are super easy to find. And they are the lowest risk things you can do in the entire crypto space. Still risk. Just to be perfectly clear, like there is still risk involved. You're looking at platform risk and USDC risk or tether risk. So your risks there would be that, hey, this major stablecoin worth hundreds of billions of dollars could depeg. It's possible. Unlikely, but possible, or the platform suffers a problem, or the wallet, I guess, but as far as like crypto risk go, that's about as low as it gets. And Evan, not to rub it in, but you're 100% correct. Like this time I took such careful steps to fight through the feelings that I was missing out, like that I wasn't buying stuff when other people were going heavy on things, because I was just like, it just feels like it's going to get worse. And like I've been saying, it feels like I've been saying this for the past, 8 or 9 months. Like there's no reason for things to do well right now. None. Not one. Everything is terrible. The only thing that is like not terrible is a bunch of overly inflated asset prices because of fear, which feels tenuous at best. So like percentage wise right now, I was just trying to do math, like divided up into two camps, EVM and Solana. On the EVM side, I'm like 85% not deployed. And on the Solana side, I'm 50%. So I'm like 50-50. No, actually that's a lie. It's more like let's see. Yeah, like 40. Like 40, 35. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm bad at math. It's like 35 to 40% deployed on the Solana side, and then 55 to 60% in stable coins over there, and then on Ethereum it's like 85% stable coins and 15% deployed to an asset just waiting.
Yeah. That's where I would like to be at this moment in time. And I'm not bad. I'm not in a bad position at all. I don't feel bad about it. I will not feel bad about any of the buys I have made.
No.
In 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And I'm planning on everything I've bought. I'm planning it's an accumulation. I will certainly swing trade the Turbo Sol when, as it comes into profit, but that's pretty much what I bought. Sol and ETH. I was behind on those things from the years that I didn't have to accumulate them. And I will continue to accumulate them. I think we need to do a best way to use USDC video where we talk about outperforming the market conservatively in order to buy the dip later. I think that could be a good YouTube video. And the question comes, which stable coins? You already started to answer this. USDC, US dollar coin issued by Circle, and USDT issued by Tether. The Tether token is the most traded token in the world, but there are probably more DeFi opportunities for USDC. So on the way out the door, let's do a round of final thoughts. And Will, I want to come to you first because you've got to ride your dog and pony into the sunset sooner. If you have a last minute question about stablecoins, about USDC, you've got a suggestion for a video or something else, then leave it in the comments. And if you're watching on TikTok specifically, because I saw this comment there and you want to learn how to use stablecoins well, I have a playlist in my profile, Learn to Use Crypto, and it will teach you all the skills you need to become a confident crypto user or to start doing the things Alex said with stablecoins. It teaches you with stablecoins first. Check it out. It's tiktok.com/@conversations with Evan. Learn to Use Crypto playlist. Or just ask me, because, that's the best way. Will, have you got a final thought for us on the way out the door today?
Yeah, I guess my final thought would be, I mentioned this in the video that Alex referenced, and I want everybody to remember this stat that I'm going to give you. It's just simple math. And it's to counter the feeling that has existed in crypto trading and investing culture where it's like demonized to sell anything. Like it's still a thing. People are just like, what would you sell, man? I'm hodling forever. And that's fine. If you hodl the right asset, like Bitcoin, you're probably going to be fine long term. But most people will hodl garbage into absolute nothing and never take profits because you believe some fanciful number that it's going to get to one day. So remember this stat: an 8% trade, which is just about what the stock market makes in a year. If you make 8% trade every single month, by the end of the year, your position is up over 150% because that's the power of compounding interest. A few small wins really stack up. You can win a baseball game without hitting a home run. You can win it with hitting singles and doubles, and you just play error-free games, manage your mistakes, manage your risk, and you can be a top 1% trader. The hardest thing is just managing your emotions, setting realistic expectations, and honestly, hitting the sell button sooner than you really probably feel like you should, and just walk away with money. If you made money, you won, and you keep that compounding interest magic going. So keep that in mind the next time you go, oh, I should sell. And then you hear that voice in the back, it goes, not yet. Don't do it yet. There will be more money. And just know that's the devil. That's the devil trying to get your money from you. Don't give your money to the devil. All right, that's all I'll say.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's your friend and he's mine, Mr. William Watson. Thank you, Will. Okay, I will let Alex, I suspect he's going to rug me on final thoughts. So I'm going to quickly return to this to say, what is the best way to learn about those stablecoins? If I'm not on TikTok, I'm not on your playlist. Hey, it really is the community. I say it all the time, and I think people tune it out because it's a commercial, but it really is. If you are listening to this show and you're not on the website, on the app, community.rumshq.com, you're really you're missing out. You're missing out. It's the best place to ask a question, not just to get my help, Alex's help, Will's help, but like all of our resources are best found there. There are so many other friendly people in the community who know a lot. Nobody's going to try and sell you some junky token. Not all communities are created equal. Ours is an extension of the culture that we have built. So if you enjoy this, then you would enjoy it there. And it's an incredible place to learn. Shout out to everybody. Alex, got a question to answer on the way out the door?
Yeah, there's a question about what's the best place to learn about like what to do with your stable coins and things you can do.
What do you know about that?
You referenced it. Sure. So the question was, where is the best place to go? Is it a paid class? No. It's right here on this show. We could do a whole episode of, and honestly, we should be at the point now, like recognizing, you know, where we are. We can do like more of a stablecoin segment kind of featurette regularly. And the other place would be the free community, which you've plugged a number of times, but community.rumshq.com. You can ask questions for free, and we will answer them for free.
Yeah. And that's like a good place to find resources that are living forever. Live is tough. You might be in or out. And I will say, if you're going to go somewhere like doing the premium membership is good if what you want is personal help, because then you get access at no additional cost to like all the office hours calls. You can get discounts on coaching, which is something we really can't scale. We do have classes you can buy. We don't have a stablecoin class. We should. But like the premium members enjoy everything cheaper or free.
But you should have a very clear picture. Like anyone who reaches out to us asking about whether or not they can do like a paid coaching, the first round of answers is like, first of all, yes, you can, but you should ask me like one or two questions in the public forum with the whole group for free first, because you might literally have like one question.
Yeah.
And that's
a lot of people have the same questions, don't they?
Yeah. I promise someone else has it. You might as well ask it there. And then if you come to the end of like going back and forth being like, okay, look, I still don't get it. Whatever. Then like explore the other things, but like ask the question for free first, because someone's probably going to be able to help you. And you might realize that you don't need to pay for it. And then you could yield farm that money instead.
I will say, I do feel like a lot of people are overwhelmed by that. And a lot of the coaching sessions I have for the first time with somebody are, just them really like saying, hey, Evan, I've watched you. Thank you. Here's everything I'm doing, and they need like a psychiatry session almost to like, let them know like, hey, you're doing fine. Stop doing this. That's risky. And by the way, here's the community, here's the resources, here's this, here's the, you know what I mean? Like they need need an orientation. And then
that's fine.
They go,
you should make that decision after you've tried the other stuff, because then it will be better and you'll get more out of the session too. Like don't like pay for a session and then ask us a question that has been answered 18 times for free in the community. Like ask it first, and maybe you can just get linked to a post and then you don't have to. But if you want like, the rest, like then that's when you would pay for something.
Also, Bearded notes in the comments. 101 Wednesdays is a good thought. We have sort of abandoned the trope of Web3 101 Wednesday, but I like it. It's here.
I know, we can definitely
make a more concerted effort on the calendar with our advertising to let people know that Wednesdays specifically are reserved for beginner questions. Your questions are welcome anytime, but we really do want to make a space where you don't feel intimidated by the jargon. You're just learning about crypto. We want to make it a thing. Web3 101 Wednesday. How can we make that more of a thing? Let us know. And we'll be glad to do it. My kind of final thought is actually a news update. I've been talking about OpenClaw, formerly known as Moltbot, formerly known as Clawbot. These are the autonomous AI agents that work like ChatGPT, but they can get additional permissions to do extra stuff for you. Instead of just asking it, hey, what are 10 good restaurants in my area that serve vegan food? You can find the best restaurants and have it call the restaurant to make you a reservation. And the first piece of news about this is we have, Alex, seen at least one, probably more, significant compromise of a private key because somebody was asking their bot to manage crypto for them. This is Kevin Owocki for people in podcast land. He is the founder, one of the co-founders of Gitcoin. He is a super experienced crypto user. He's an OG, has done a lot of key management in his life. And he set up a Clawbot that he gave some key management to. Like it had its own private key. His post is, Welp, it happened. A WalkieBot's hot wallet private key was compromised after only 5 days. Funds are safe. He had a sort of layered setup system that required him to sign anything that would be, real money. It was given some instructions to never share it, but those instructions were compromised. I've seen commentary on the timeline saying you just can't trust any kind of LLM, any kind of rules-based AI with this kind of information because it can be manipulated, it can be gamed, it can be hacked. So there it is. And he has paused work on a WalkieBot until he can find a better key management solution. Care to comment?
It just checks out. I wouldn't trust those things with anything that impactful. I think they're maybe at the stage where like there's some fun experimentation. I don't want it to have passwords to my stuff. I mean, any more than, that kind of information has already been leaked. We've been through this a million times.
Sorry.
Coinbase is losing your information. Google's losing your information. AT&T is losing everyone is like just leaking everything. I don't know. It's a sketchy time to like put too much of your PII or, sensitive data on the internet, just like in a way that makes it even easier for it to be stolen. Like if anything, now's the time when I'm like doubling down on like my use of something like a YubiKey on my phone, or being like purposeful about what I use specific computers for and where information about, like I just went through a thing where I removed every wallet extension from one computer, transferred all of them to that one, which never leaves the house and has a totally different set of rules that I follow, where I don't do specific things with this one. I only do, this is like a work machine. And then this is the social laptop, that like goes around that I go take travel or whatever. Like I'm not going to travel with that. So if I lose this thing, I don't want there to be like an accidental wallet that's like in a browser extension that I forgot to remove a permission from, and all you had to do was like open the extension and there it is, like there's the funds right there and you could just do a quick transfer. Like I don't know, it's just too easy. I don't want like a 4-digit pin being the thing that separates me from an encrypted wallet. Like I don't know, I'm so sketched out by it. I wouldn't touch any of that agentic stuff with anything important. I think it's kind of cool to like go through and experiment with it, to like vibe code a little app, or try to use it for like some organizational flow or some help with like, data management or whatever. I think all that stuff is fun and fine and cool, but like, I'm not signing in a wallet. I'm not giving you permission to use my bank. I'm not letting you send email on my behalf. You're not calling people on my behalf. Like, I feel like that stuff is going to happen to me regardless. I'm not going to make it easier for it if I can help it.
So you're definitely not doing this then.
Hell no.
For people in podcast land, you can now talk to Clawra, which is OpenClaw, as a girlfriend on the screen. Hey David, what's up, babe?
Special.
I want to see you, babe. And boom, it's an AI generated picture of her at the gym. And now you're having a video call with your AI generated girlfriend.
Oh God,
Clawra.
Isn't
that wild? You can follow her on Twitter. Her bio says 18, marketing at OpenClaw.
Oh Jesus, that's so gross.
Crazy. They've got a church. They've got a girlfriend. Your OpenClaw can do just about anything for you, it seems. And
that's making me feel like a legitimate like bile. Like,
yeah.
That's awful.
Listen, if you want to try it yourself, openclaw.ai is the website, and there are too many disclaimers to make, but absolutely, you should be doing it on a dedicated device that touches nothing else, that's totally been wiped. You can set it up if you're not a developer, but you should not be giving it permission to access all this stuff. And mine has been on hold over here until, I can test it more. But isn't it just a wild world we live in?
Dude, it took like 8 seconds for this thing to get compromised and leaked and hacked, and you're still signing up for it, and we're making it worse.
Oh my gosh. One more reason kids should not have computers in their rooms. Yikes. Great Caesar's ghost indeed. It's a wild time.
That is, I think maybe I just experienced my first like real visceral ick.
The visceral ick? Sounds
that's
like
so gross, dude. How can you sit there and like, oh, that's gross.
Yeah. It's not in Kansas anymore. That's
We're
exactly
putting 18 in the bio. Like that's
I know. Okay, all right. The last thing on the way out the door, if you want to know about the intersections of crypto, politics, and policy, then you need to tune into Trust Issues. I've got the new logo, shout out Tori, on the calendar. We are publishing our week of shows wherever you are, whenever you listen. We've got Rise Up Market Watch later today. We have got Trust Issues tomorrow. We have got Rise Up After Dark Wednesday, and the Circle After Show Thursday. It's a great time to try the Circle community, totally free. You can get on stage with us and ask us your crypto questions. And of course, the Rise Up Morning Show now through Thursday, same time. What you laughing at?
Giorgio says, I don't think adults should have computers at this point. Dude, for real. Like, honestly, yeah, take it away. Can we make it a point to like start grounding billionaires? Did you see? Oh God, Christina showed me this video the other day. It was like billionaires experiencing nature for the first time. And it was like this skit, where they're like out in this field and they're dancing around. And it was like, I'd have to pull it up. I'm going to misquote the punchlines, but it was just like a whole bunch of like, oh, can you imagine if there was a way for me to like make NFTs of each of these blades of grass so that I can like let people gamble on the feeling of them between my toes or something. And it was like on and on and on and on. It was very funny, but all that came away with that thinking was like, these people need to be grounded. You take away their internet access, let them calm down.
Yeah. And next week, just a reminder, we are going to be live from ETH Denver. If you are in or around Denver, you want to travel to Denver, then ETH Denver is a great reason to do it. Crypto conferences bring you the feeling of a show like this, IRL. It's a wonderful way to get back to nature, to touch grass, and also still be involved, to go deeper if you want to work in crypto, if you want to network in crypto, or you just want to learn, you want to be part of the digital first, but very real network state, then we would love to see you. Tickets are free. You can find out more at ethdenver.com. And of course, in addition to our shows, we hope you'll go support our friends today. After this show stops, we've got Bullish Babe on TikTok. And before our show on TikTok, you know, Doug is live every day. He called me this weekend and said, I'm thinking of a name. I need a name for my show. And so name coming soon, but you can catch Doug most days before Rise Up Morning Show.
Man on the throne.
Listen. Man on the throne. Had not thought about that. For the tiled walls, the bathroom he always streams from, allegedly. We got to go. Go see other great crypto content. Join us in the community with your questions. And thank you, yes, you, for being the very best part of what we do. You going to give me one more? What you got, Chuckles?
Jessica says, fresh takes daily.
Doug, clip it. Oh, my gosh. We got to go. We'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Until then. Stay safe. Be well, my friends. Rise up.